Good evening, everyone. It's currently 5:02 and time to start the Community Development Committee meeting for Monday, March the 7th. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Moiseo. Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Hayes. Alderman Turner.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Item B, approval of minutes of the virtual regular Community Development Committee meeting held on February 7th, 2022. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Turner, seconded by Alderman Florian. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Right now, item 2, audience time. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to speak to anything that's on the agenda. Okay, there being none. Old business, there being none, we're going to go right into new business. New business. Item A, motion to approve a second temporary extension of an intergovernmental agreement with College of Lake County for the use of the Madison Street Mall. And I believe I have some detail here. On December 6, 2016, the College of Lake County and the city entered into an intergovernmental agreement to allow the college to install certain improvements to a parcel of city-owned property commonly known as Madison Street Mall, located adjacent to the college's Lakeshore campus. The agreement provided that the city and the college would cooperate and share costs of maintaining and policing the mall. The intergovernmental agreement had a 5-year term ending December 2021 and was extended until March 7th, 2022. The college and the city intend to renew, amend, and restore the intergovernmental agreement to allow for the continued shared use, maintenance, and improvement of the mall, but require additional time to finalize the plans, terms, and conditions. In the interim, Corporation Counsel has prepared the attached document of temporarily extending the term of the intergovernmental agreement through and until September 7, 2022, at which time they are expected to adopt and approve a restated and amended intergovernmental agreement satisfactory to both parties. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Motion by Alderman Florian. A second? Can we? Yeah, can we sit?
You'd need to have a motion and a
May I have a motion to sit?
I move to seat Alderman Hayes.
A second. Second by Alderman Turner. Okay, and then the first motion is,
Mr.
We need to
Chairman.
vote on that.
You can do that by a voice vote.
We have to vote on Hayes.
pardon?
You have to vote on seating Alderman Hayes.
Just have to say,
Oh.
all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay.
Okay, so now
Okay,
back
so
to.
I have a first and a second.
I believe we're still waiting. Did we get a second on the?
Got a second from me.
Okay,
All right, roll call, please.
Do we have questions on that?
Any questions?
Thank you. Why don't we just give it to them? Why do we want to retain control of that little piece of mall? Why not just give it over to the college?
Excuse me, they've never requested ownership of it. It's always been an agreement that it's a right-of-way and they wanted to use it. We certainly can raise that in our discussion with them.
I would suggest that. Stu, you got a thought on that?
Well, it's it's a public right of way. It's been used as a pedestrian mall for I'm not sure how long.
Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can discuss that with them.
Yeah, just write that down. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call?
Alderman Hayes.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
aye.
Chairman Rivera.
Aye. Thank you. Item B, motion to adopt an ordinance disconnecting certain territory contiguous to the city of Waukegan. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Alderman Turner, seconded by Alderman Hayes, any questions?
Mr. Callahan is here if you want to have him present or have any questions of him.
Does anybody have any questions?
I'd like to just have like a general, I apologize for not knowing more about exactly what this is about, and if you could just kind of give us a general.
Be glad to. Jerry Callahan, I represent the landowner, which is a real estate trust. It's, the overall holdings of the trust is about 850.
Mr. Callahan, could you speak a little more closely into the microphone? Feel free to move in.
It was on. Is it green?
No.
That is great. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't think it is either.
Is there another microphone?
Can he just use mine? You want to just come over here and just to save time while they fix that AV button?
And just stand there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Since I'm talking to you. Okay. Jerry Callahan again for the property owner. The owner is a trust that has about 850 acres. I think all but a couple of acres, including some of what we're going to talk about, is in the city of Waukegan. The property is a farm, essentially. It's going to remain a farm. There is a 5-acre parcel on the west side of River Road that is unincorporated, that has a house and has half of a barn, believe it or not, because some of that barn, it splits the jurisdictional line between the county and the city. So the property owner wants to put in some farm buildings, take down that old barn, put up a new barn, put up a shed, material storage area for like gravel, mulch and things like that, an office and studio, and it'll all be related to the farming activities. The property's in the R1 zone, and the R1 zone says you can only have one principal building on a parcel. And so it's not clear what we would have to do to remain in Waukegan. The rules for agricultural uses in Lake County are much more flexible. You can put numerous buildings on one parcel. So that's what it's about, and it is not going to change the nature, and in fact, it'll kind of be a launching pad for some environmental improvements of the property. They're working on a plan to improve the wetland, the drainage area, and all that. I think they're going to be doing some kind of agricultural, raising crops in a different way, maybe sustainably. So it's kind of a launching pad. It just gives them more flexibility. So what we're talking about is a disconnection of less than 3 acres out of the total 850, and that's it.
All right, thank you for that.
Sure.
From, if you're driving north on River Road toward 120, go ahead.
Yep. Sorry.
Are you actually able to see what they're going to change from the road? There's so much land there and so much to the set.
Well, there is an existing house, and it's all going to just be around that house. I mean, I'll show you what the proposed layout is.
So I drive by it all the time, but there's houses that are set fairly far
No,
back.
this is not set that far back, so, let's see. All right, so here's River Road. This is the existing house.
Okay, yep.
So they're going to put a garage, a barn, the studio, a shed, this walled-in garden. So all of it's related to agricultural use, and then they're going to be doing improvements on property to the north, on the wetlands, try to bring them back to a more natural condition.
Okay.
So that's what the plan is. Yeah, I can show you how we have a plat of disconnection. So the piece that the existing house is on, again, here's River Road. This is the unincorporated piece, and the gray shaded areas are the ones so that they can fit the barn on one parcel under a common jurisdiction being Lake County.
So that's the crux for the disconnection, is just be able to construct new buildings. on
Exactly,
there.
that was the whole reason, and, you know, because we have a split jurisdiction, it just didn't make sense
Got it, okay.
to do that, so. You're welcome, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Do we have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Chairman Rivera?
Aye, thank you. Item C, motion to approve the dedication of a portion of Macquarie Road as described in the legal description and plat of dedication. And Noel, first of all, may I have a first and a second?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, first by Alderman Turner, seconded by Alderman Florian. Any questions to this motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Chairman Rivera?
Aye. Thank you. Item D, motion to approve zoning calendar number 2646, a conditional use permit for a detailing/hand car wash at 2206 West Grand Avenue. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Alderman Turner, seconded by Alderman Hayes. Any questions to this motion? May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Hayes?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Chairman Rivera?
Aye. Thank you. Okay, next, number 5, reports and communications. The first presentation will be from the Waukegan Water Department. Oh,
Do you want mine? But then I gotta.
It's on its way.
right, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
We can make this user-friendly.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Antonio Dominguez. I'm the water plant superintendent for the city of Waukegan. I've been working with the city for 18 and a half years. Previously, I worked for the city of North Chicago, the water treatment plant. That's where I went to school to get my Class A water operator's license, and that's what you need to run a water plant, a surface water plant. And I've been the water plant superintendent for 3 years, for the past 3 years. And like I said, 18 and a half years I've been working with the city. So today I'm going to give a presentation on the water treatment plant. And I have Liz Marquez here, the office water plant supervisor. That'll be helping me out. So we're going to start. Here's a picture of the water plant. It was built in 1927. And then we have a picture of projects that we're working on right now. The water plant has 2 reservoirs where once the final filtered water is finished, it goes to the 2 reservoirs. Right now we're working on the East Reservoir, and we're working on the raw water pumping station, which is in the process of design to go out to bid. And here's the water treatment process. We have 3 intake drums in the lake. It's about a mile out, a little over a mile. Comes into the raw water station, and it's pumped into the water plant where it goes to a rapid mix basin. The chemicals are fed in that rapid mix, and then it goes to a slow mix, which is moved on into the sedimentation basin, and then it goes into the filters. And then chlorine and fluoride is added at the end where it goes to a clear well, and then from there it goes to the reservoir, and then the high service pumps pump out the water through 3 transmission mains out to the storage tanks, 3 storage tanks that we have in the city. The last, oh, can you go back? Sure. Where are those 5 chemicals there, the chemicals 6? We have alum, which is for coagulation, and carbon, which is only used for taste and odor in the water. And then chlorine is added at that point. Fluoride it's added for fluoridation in the water for the teeth. And permanganate, we haven't used that since I've been there. And polymer is a coagulant aid, which helps alum. It makes the mud come together, or the sludge, and it settles into the settling basin at the end. Yep. Okay, so the last major plant expansion was 1967. There were 3 new sedimentation basins constructed, and 4 new dual cell filters, which actually have 2 filters in one, so it's basically 8 filters. And then the new raw water pumping station, that's the pumping station that we will be going out to bid hopefully this year. And here's the organizational chart. That's me, the water department director, Antonio Dominguez, and then we have 4 supervisors. Actually 5, 1 for the water plant, 2 for water main, 1 for the meter shop, and Liz Marquez is the office supervisor. And then we have the maintenance workers, and there's laborers in the meter shop, water main, and at the water plant. Okay, so the improvements at the water plant over the past 6 months are as follows. Excavation, inspection, and rehab of East Water Plant reservoir exterior. The removal of sand and soil from the top of the concrete. And then they clean, and then they're going to patch and apply coating on the top of the reservoir. And then apply membrane and vapor barrier and stone capping for the top of the reservoir. And then they put new vents and overflow installed. The overflow is over on the left-hand side. You can't see it because they got it covered up. There's going to be a piping that's going to be connected there. in case the reservoir ever gets really high, the water will come out onto that pad and it flows out. Before we did this project, actually the overflow was inside the water plant, so the water plant would actually get flooded if we had a flood. So that's something good that came out of the project. Number two, the line stops completed to stop water to install new pumps and valves. It's hard to see, but that equipment there was put in to stop the water from flowing through the pipe on the right. And that was so we can install new valves that were no longer operational for this high service pump to be taken out for repairs. And then piping and valve replacement prior to new high service pump installation. Here's a transmission line that comes out of the water plant. It's in the basement. It didn't have a valve at that point, but since we were shutting down that transmission line, we were able to install a valve in case in the future we can always shut it down there instead of shutting it off outside or shutting water off down Seahorse Drive. And here's discharge valves for the high service pumps. The old discharge valves, 1927, and then new valves that would be put in. The paint, yeah, yes. Yeah, but they were able to make cuts, and then they were able to cut, instead of getting rid of all the lead paint, they were able to just cut out a lot. No, it's just the paint that's on there. Yeah. And here's some pictures of the old piping and valves that were removed during the demo. And then the installation of new valves that weren't there before, that now we have the capacity to stop the flow where we could separate one side of the water plant from the other. And these are also 1927 24-inch pipes that were taken out to install new valves where the blue paint is. They installed new valves there. And here's a new picture of all new piping coming in. And also, there was other piping that was done in a previous project 2 years ago. So all new valves were installed. Here's some mechanical work to install piping. And then here's the new electrical for the new high service pumps. That's all new electrical. There are VFD drives for each pump. There's 3 pumps for each existing pump that was previously. There was only one pump, and they weren't VFD drives. So it's all new electrical. And then there's a new transformer for all the master control center for the pumps. And here's the engineering evaluation to rehabilitate the raw water pump station for the water plant. This is the picture of the raw water pumping station that was put in 1967. And the work was awarded to CMT to do the engineering study. And here are 3 are really old pumps from 1967, and one I believe was put in like 2008, I believe. The one on the left, that does up to 60 million gallons a day. And that's our main pump right now, but we could use the other ones, but that's a VFD drive, so it's a lot easier just to run that one. That way, whenever we need to cut to a lower rate, you just dial back the hertz on the pump, or on the VFD drive. Average is 10, but in the summer we could do about 14. And that does 16? That does 16, yeah. And here's, on the left is the VFD drive for that pump number 8. It's pretty old, but the problem is the electrical that was put in 1967. It's really corroded because of the chlorine that's in that building. There was not enough ventilation, and the chlorine started corroding all the electrical wiring. You can see some of that corrosion. Here we replaced the backflow device to allow better pressure for the filters. And we install a larger or backflow device to get more pressure in the system to help with the valves for the filters. And here's a picture of, this was just recent, we had a diver do an inspection of where the water comes into the water plant. And there's two sides of the raw water building in the basement where the water comes in, where the screen is, and then also there's where the pumps are. So they went into both sides. They found out that we have quite a bit of sand and silt down there, so they're gonna be coming back this week to get rid of some of that. Yeah. And then goals pursued for the remainder of the fiscal year: to have engineering study to complete supervisory control and data acquisition, which is the SCADA computer system, to be upgraded. It's last time it was put in was 2003. They don't make parts anymore, so we really need to think about updating that. And to have storage tank inspection via remote operated vehicle. Before there was divers that had to go into the tank where you don't have to drain the tank. But now there's ROVs that they could just put in and take pictures and video of how the tank is actually, what condition it's in. And we have 3 storage tanks: the Gulfmore booster station, the Beach Nut booster station, and the Fountain Square booster station. And then we have to have a scuba diver inspect the raw water intake crib where the water comes in a mile out in Lake Michigan. I can't remember, the last time was like 2004 they went out there. That could be a problem that we can find issues maybe on those screens where that's probably where we're having ice issues. We might find it's probably plugged with zebra mussels. So yeah, maybe they could just do a cleaning of that and it'll be a lot of help. So the goals for fiscal year 22-23: to train the staff members in all areas of water operations, to continue to reinforce workplace safety, continue capital improvements at the water plant, to have supervisory control and data acquisition system installed, water plant electrical system upgrade to meet the needs for the new SCADA, and raw water pump station renovation. And the budget justification would be the operating budget is required due to regulations set forth by the EPA, Illinois Department of Natural Resources, Department of Public Health, and federal agencies. The water main and meter shop also must be on call to work after normal hours to repair broken water mains or frozen meters. Actually, that goes for the water plant also. There's always a person on call in case there's an emergency at the water plant or at the booster station, so you can go out. There's times where we lose power and the generator kicks on, but it's always better for an employee to go out and actually see if the generator's still running or if it's shut off. So, and the chemicals used to treat the water are required to be fed at a dosage depending on the raw water quality. And then the water main and water meter department are in need of new vehicles that are beyond repair. And also, the Waukegan water plant is almost 100 years old, and as the technology and regulations change, the water plant needs to implement upgrades to meet regulatory requirements. And major organizational change, implementation of a safety committee, monthly staff meetings, and ongoing safety and professional training. And also, we were given an award by the Chicago Metropolitan Chapter of American Public Works Association. We were supposed to receive the award in January, but because of COVID numbers going up, they moved it to June 2nd of this year. And it was for a project that was done, we could say, it finished last year, but we still, Baxter and Woodman put our project in to see if we were given the award, and we won the award. And it had to be between $5 million to $25 million in water system improvements. So, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So, any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding, 100-year-old plant.
Yeah, it's hard.
God.
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Dominguez?
I have a question.
Alderman Bolton?
Yes, out of curiosity, what is the oldest pipe that you had to replace?
1927.
1927.
27, yeah. Valves too. There was a lot of valves. There's a lot of valves. Yeah.
Your mic's not on, Pat.
What was it?
Your mic?
Butterfly valves? Yeah, there was butterfly valves.
What kind of condition were they in?
It was just basically a lot of, it was just getting really, how can I explain it? Just pitting on the valve and on the piping.
I take it you had to replace some.
Yeah, we replaced a lot of valves and piping.
Okay.
Yep,
All right, thank you.
yep.
All right, if there are no further questions, thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenters will be the Information Technology Department. Is the mic working?
Yeah, I'll be standing down there. They cannot hear you back on that side.
Gotcha.
One of the things I asked about, determine the police department budget or record $8,800 for some towing services for 2020 and 2021. I think we need to find out more about that.
Wow. Why wouldn't we pay them? And JRs.
Okay, good afternoon, folks. This is the IT budget proposal for 2023. The first slide we're going to show you is what the actual IT department controls. We have a total of 11 sites. Next screen. On the top site, you have City Hall, which is actually what the building you're sitting in right now. We also control the police department, which controls E911 Center. We also control the fire department, which consists of 5 firehouses. We have the water plant, we have the public works, and we have an animal shelter. They're all connected by fiber optics connected to each single site. The next slide. IT city assets and applications. We have 426 end users, 366 cellular devices that include cell phones, mobile units, and radio devices. We have 2,280 total city device assets. Out of that is 102 servers, 379 computer systems, 1,799 laptops, mobile units, and managed devices. We have a total of 11 data centers throughout the city of Waukegan. We have 435 city applications that the IT department manages. We have 4 global applications. City Hall has the Cayenta and Main Start. Main Start is the building department's ticketing system that they use for, they're going to be starting up this fiscal year. The Cayenta system is the ERP, which controls our financial systems and human resources systems. The fire department has ESO, that is their records management software that they use. They also use, in conjunction with that, the Tyler Public Safety Systems. Police department is Tyler Public Safety Systems, which controls their E911 center. It's radio communications back and forth from the fire and police department. The water plant has the new SCADA system, which Antonio just went over, I believe, in his presentation. Public Works has a cartograph system, which is part of their ticketing system inside of Public Works. There is another feature in there that I'd like to bring in sometime in the next year, which allows the public to submit tickets for potholes, street damages, light fixtures that are out. So what will end up happening is that with the software package, they can get online and they can submit a ticket straight to the Public Works, and it'll give the geo, lat, and long of the actual problem in the city. And with that ticket, it'll fill in their email address as well as any information that's pertinent to the call they're submitting. Public Works, in return, will sit there and come out and fill out, it's their way of tracking the tickets, so any event that they've went out to the site, they fixed the issue. The customer and Public Works will get an email saying that this is what's been done to the problem. The next screen is IT support tickets. In 2019 and 2020, we had 2,758 tickets. In 20 and 21, we had 3,056 tickets. 21 and 22, we had 3,719. 22 and 23 is unknown at this time. Usually what drives up the IT support tickets is because we are not exactly, our customer base is employees, City of Waukegan employees. So for every ticket that comes in, we actually do not deal with the public, we actually deal with employees that are having issues with either their applications or their hardware of some sort. This also indicates that the pattern of intake is usually based upon new applications that are coming in, new devices that have been implemented, or security issues that come up. With that, we have, my guess is at this point in time, we have about 20 to 30% tickets that are not reported. That's usually just more word of mouth, or that they stop in the office to ask for assistance. IT personnel is standing right now. We have 4.5 plus an IT contractor. 1.5 IT directors, myself and Ron Gardell is the part-time director. Responsibilities of direction of IT department and citywide services. The IT assistant director is vacant at this time. We are hoping to fill that next fiscal year. Her responsibilities will be assumes IT director role and responsibilities in the event that he is gone, city IT purchasing agent, employee manager, and IT help desk supervisor. 2 system administrators, Chris Manning and Rhonda Coley. They administrate domains, application security, network infrastructure, and financial application support. We have 1 office supervisor, Mike Garcia. He actually is our IT technician, deploys and maintains PCs, printer maintenance, inventory, software, and hardware implementation. We are proposing a total of 7 personnel, IT director, an IT assistant director, an IT administrative assistant, and 2 system administrators, as well as 2 IT technicians. The IT director, again, is the responsibility of direction of the IT department and citywide services. The IT assistant director will assume all responsibilities of the IT director for his time off. Administrative assistant, process IT citywide purchase request, is a Q&A on department budgets to keep them, to inform them that they're exceeding their budget or under budget, or if they're moving on projects in a timely fashion, as well as supervisor for the office. System administrators, administrates domain and application implementation and security, network infrastructure. 2 technicians for deploying and maintaining PC, application, printer maintenance, and inventory, and software and hardware development. 21-22 budget. This actually is 22-23 budget. We are looking at a $5.7 million budget for this next fiscal year. At this pace, we've also incorporated a 5% increase for all subscriptions that will end up going up, as I stated, 5% every year for subscription and maintenance costs. The building department, and I've listed out all the departments. I'm not sure I'm going to go through them all at this point in time. But I am willing to sit there and sit down with any of you to sit down and discuss what actually they have inside of each department. 22 and 23 city IT categories. What we did was we broke it up into hardware costs, which is computers, laptops, network infrastructure, hardware maintenance, and IT related supplies. 2, software, applications and application maintenance. 3, utilities and professional services, cellular services, internet services, and contractual services. 22 and 23 goals, citywide network refresh. Basically, that's the internal wide area network that we use to communicate to every single one of our sites through fiber optics. Those require leases and maintenance costs. And local area network communication infrastructure. That is basically inside of every single site. They require network services inside of their site to communicate with amongst themselves. Wireless infrastructure. City Hall, Police Department, Fire Department, Public Works, and water plant. If anything, it has shown for the past 2 years for the COVID-related incidents we've had, remote services has been a very high demand, and we've got it up and functioning properly. Remote services will also spread into the new applications that are being deployed this fiscal year, which is the SCADA system for the water plant, and for the MainStar application building, they'll be able to sit there, and code enforcement officers as well as the water plant managers and supervisors will be able to control their pumps or support tickets that are coming in from the city remotely using tablets. PC server ISAN upgrades, 25% a year. We have a goal every year to replace 25% of the city's servers, PCs, as needed. That's driven by technology and security demands, cloud versus on-premise solutions. I've always said that we are actually too big but small, too small to sit there and benefit from cloud services. On-premise solutions at this point in time, in my opinion, is a better solution for the city. Because we have so little users, we will not benefit from the price breaks that other environments with higher volumes for cloud services and license fees. PC and server ISAN upgrades, oh, sorry, I did that already. Application upgrades, annually or as needed. Applications, believe it or not, applications such as our Cayenda system, our MainStar system, Cartograph, they go under, we have maintenance contracts. The maintenance contracts support bug fixes, patches, but as for a major release, if we're upgrading versions, then that is an additional cost that our maintenance contracts do not cover. Again, application upgrades driven by hardware, software application enhancements, licensing for new employees. And I've gone over subscriptions versus maintenance contracts. And that's pretty much everything. I refer to the IT department as, to me, it's a black hole. You know it's there, but it's just this huge environment that nobody actually sees. Basically, it's talking over the microphones. How does it get over to the speaker system? Is basically when you hit a control key, it actually goes over to every single department. It would operate your Word functions, your applications, radio communications for the water plant. Those are the type of things that you don't see, but there is a back end that needs to be addressed and maintained properly.
We have a question.
Mr. Vila, on the, I think it was the first or second slide, you had a list of all of the equipment. And I know I probably drove, you zipped by it, right there. Go back, that one. So I know I probably drove you crazy during COVID because there was always new stuff being bought and I kept questioning what it was for and all of that. We have 400 and some employees, right, total? Mm-hmm. Yes. So why do we need 1,800 laptops?
Well, I believe at the total we're looking at 24 laptops within the city, but that's just for City Hall. We actually have laptops and mobile units that we use for the fire department as well as the police department. We have exactly 115 squad cars, and each single one of those squad cars is outfitted with a laptop. I understand you're asking, we only have 26 or 32 on the road at one given time, but because of the failures inside the squad cars, whether accidents, whatever the case is, we need those laptops to sit there and move into the squad cars.
Okay, so that's 100, but you have 1,800 up there.
No, that's 1,799 laptops, mobile units, and managed devices. That includes your computer systems, your radio infrastructure that we use to communicate for the water plant. In the water plant, it's a device that actually communicates out to the lift stations. That would be considered one device. And on the other end is another device to receive that information.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Bella, for your presentation. At this time, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Florian, seconded by Alderman Turner. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you very much. The meeting ended at, looks like 5:49.